Hi everybody, welcome back to this mountainside, oceanside timber frame build here in Shimoda, Japan. I'm John. We missed you last week. We had a 1 week work stoppage for a number of reasons, which I'll mention in a little while. But we are back continuing the work on the ceiling and roofing structure. By the end of today's video, we're gonna figure out a way to get all of that long, heavy, unwieldy timber from down there working level up to here to put it on top of the building. And we don't have any machine yet built to do so, but stick with me and we'll find out how to do it. I'm also going to spend some time talking today about the Ides of March, which I can't imagine a better description. Doom and gloom and the whole bit. March was an awful month for us. Luckily, it's almost over. I've really been racking my brain on how to ensure that I get a precise fit between these two scarf joints on the plates. So the only way I figured out how to do it is to overlay the beams one on top of the other and scribe it. It worked. It fit perfectly using the scribe method, but it fit too perfectly, and in my makeshift set of sawhorses here, I cracked it. So now I've got to glue it and clamp it, let it sit. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah. Okay, we've got number 1 done, we've got number 5 done, and we just finished number 3, 2 and 4, which are 6x6s, up next. This, I think. Come on, okay. There we go, there we go. Come on. Red and white, perfect. Okay. That's pretty good. Okay. Okay, done with these scarf joints. The Ides of March, part 1, the weather. The weather has been atrocious this month. I mean, it's unstable every year. I get it, but it just clobbered us. It's hot, it's cold, it's dry, it's really windy, it's soaking wet, the whole 9 yards. Today it's 24 Celsius. Tomorrow it's going to be 14 Celsius. Today is relatively dry, but it rained. It just chucked it down all night long. It has kept me off of the mountain. I haven't counted. I haven't seen a summary of the days, but probably 15 out of 30 days, it's kept me off of the mountain, off of the project, not working. The weather. I'm really quite excited at this stage. I was just reviewing everything, and I sorted my lumber and I pulled out the last 3 big pieces. All I've got to do to hit a major milestone in this ceiling and roof preparation is 3 things. I got to plane these 3 tie beams, which will be the tie beams that go up top. I've got to put a tenon on the end of each one of them. Very, very simple. And then I've got to mortise out the 6 posts that those tie beams sit in. I stayed a little bit later than usual last night, and I planed the tie beams that will go up top. And these all have to now have tenons put on the end of each, and those tenons have to fit into mortises that I will cut in these 6 6x6s. Centering this mortise. Ides of March, Part 2, Losing Our Cat. I don't have to say anything more about that. There's a video on that. Thank you again for everybody's support. But ticks biting us here in Shimoda has now become a possibly fatal occurrence. Bad stuff. Okay, we're back 2 days later. The rain was constant for 36 hours. One of my tarps blew off of my pile of plywood down below. That's 100 sheets of plywood there. Were exposed for I don't know how long. But it's sunny today and windy, so I'm going to leave it uncovered. Hopefully it'll dry out somewhat. Under here, I moved my 3 tie beams under cover just before I left 2 days ago. And we just got a bunch of leaking happening right at this point. So I move it all out into the sun right now, and the task today is cutting these tenons. In the meantime, I'm going to round over the edges, the corners, on all of these posts. I didn't do it for all of the main construction. I was thinking I'm just going to do it on whatever is left revealed. I'm going to do it for all these at the top and just get it over with. So the reason you want to round your corners on much of your wood is, well, they're There are many reasons, and one of them is aesthetic. It just rounded corners look nicer to the eye. But the practical reasons are it prevents this kind of tear out on the corners. This happens on all of these sharp corners. Every time you roll a log or drag it over something, you'll break the corner up like that. So rounding the corner removes that risk. And also, once the wood is up there, the rounded corners, and once the wood is also smoothed and oiled, doesn't catch cobwebs, and it makes cleaning so much easier. Okay, I decided to do the tie beams as well. Everything is rounded now as far as the ceiling structure is concerned. It's been an hour and a half now, and I think the tie beams are dry enough, so I'll start working on the tenons. I can't help you. I'm not moving you from level to level. You're on your own. Okay, I finished all of the tie beams. I managed to get 90% of them done yesterday before I left, and came in and finished up the last little bit this morning. These tie beams, the tenons are done. The mortises for the posts are done. They will all fit together up top. Mortises in the plates. That's what I got to do. The mortises in these tie beams have to wait till I have my computer. Okay. What are you doing in there? Ides of March, Part 3. Health. I got whacked with a cold this month. I got food poisoning this month that had me in the hospital getting tests. I didn't have to stay, and it was a voluntary visit, but health has just hit me. Luckily, I'm recovering. Imy's pretty much unfazed by everything. Health. Bad, bad, bad March for health. So in order to really work on these plates accurately, I need them to be together. So 8 meters long, 8.3 meters long. And so I decided I need a couple more sawhorses. These are little guys in order to match the height of my timber frame sawhorses there. I'm going to make one more so that I have 4, and this will allow me to put the 2 members of each plate all in one line and visualize them better, measure them more accurately, I hope, and get the correct mortises in the correct places. Okay, I'm satisfied with the way that fits together. Now we just have to do, what, 14 more? Ides of March, part 4. Our home life just been upturned with a move from one house to the other. We just moved across town. We actually just finished it this week. 2 nights ago was our first night in the new old house. And it's just so disruptive, so disruptive. I think it's all for the better, all for good reasons, but so disruptive. March, bad for family life. So I haven't been filming a lot of this because it's just so monotonous. Same cut, same tool, pretty much the same thing over and over and over again. I'm sure nobody minds, but that's why we're kind of jumping from just starting something to having finished something. I'm not filming a lot of it. We finished all of the roofing structure timbers. Imy's here today and she's been oiling them, and we still have to do all of these. She's done all the posts so far under all the scaffolding over there. We still have to do these. We got to sand them a little bit. So there's, we need to clean up some of this pollen stain and various other, dirtiness. Yeah, then the ceiling structure, everything that we need for the ceiling structure is done. We just got to get it up there now. Now, I've been racking my brain for weeks now about how to get the lumber up there. And I don't have a solution yet. Let me tell you about the options. So if you've watched any of these videos, you recall that to stand this house in the first place, we used the derrick crane that I built. The derrick crane has the vertical mast right here, and it has a diagonal boom. Now this is in the middle of my living room right now, and there's beams and posts all around. So it cannot be used as we used it before. So option number one has always been to repurpose this somehow. And I just can't get my head around how to do it. In order to build this up so that it's useful to get things up to the 8-meter height, I have to work vertically with timbers. I mean, that means I have to assemble timbers vertically. That means I essentially have to build a new boom, for example. If I were to use a boom right beside this mast to go up 8 meters, I would have to construct the boom while it's standing on its end. And it's really hard, really hard. So option number one, repurpose the crane to use it, is a really difficult option. Option number two is from this side of the house. This is the east side of the house where all the lumber is, and it's a straight flat plane up this east wall to the lip and over to where the ceiling and roof will be. So option number two is somehow, I don't know how, but getting the lumber up this wall, like pulleys and ropes and maybe galvanized pipe as a sled type of thing. I really don't know yet, but this is option number two. And option number three is helicopter it in. I don't. Actually, option number three could be loading all of the lumber to the front and somehow using those overhanging, what will be the eaves, but using those overhangs to somehow hook a pulley onto or run a rope with a winch on one end of it around so that the wood goes up there and then somehow gets over. So you can see that this isn't an easy solution. I guess there's another option with using somehow the scaffolding. If I had 4 levels of scaffolding, it would put it well above the height of the plate, the upper plates there, and that would allow me to bring wood up and kind of shift it over like this so that it's workable. But remember, I mean, not only is the lifting part the difficult part, but once we get up there, we're dealing with massively heavy beams. I mean, these things are really heavy. And how do we move them when they're up there to get them all across this upper ceiling structure? Yeah, this is not an easy dilemma to have. So I'm going to ignore the lifting dilemma for the moment, and I'm going to go up there and start drilling the mortises, routering out the mortises. Ides of March, Part 5, the project. We had almost a 2-week delay. Luckily, it coincided with the weeks that we were moving and that I was sick with food poisoning. So, there was an overlap in the delay, but the project got stalled because of an issue related to the lumber, the size of beams that I chose. They differed slightly from the architect's drawings. We talked about it in detail. There is no issue related to the safety and security of the house, related to the shear strength, related to the earthquake strength, related to the wind strength, the wind load. There was no issue whatsoever in the beams in the size of beams that I chose, but we still had to get confirmation with the authorities that we could submit new drawings with the corrected sizes. Just this morning we got their approval, no issue whatsoever, but I worried for 3 weeks. Bad March for the project. First one is right up there. Straightforward. Just about 30. That should be The last thing I have to do related to preparing the ceiling structure is oil and cover these mortises that I made for the posts. Ides of March number 6, my computer. There was an automatic update, a Windows update about 2 weeks ago, and that started causing issues. And then when I moved this week and moved into a new Wi-Fi zone and LAN or IP address, the whole thing just kind of shut down. Everything went wrong. I couldn't edit any video. It was probably 48 hours when I couldn't even use my desktop. And that was just freaking me out. So, technology, Ides of March, number 6. Okay, so what I'm kind of concluding right now is the best way to get material up to this level is to first of all have a steel cable line. Okay, that's going to be above us, and I think it's going to run from that kind of slender spruce cedar tree to this kind of beefier cedar tree. Okay, right in the way are these 3 trunks right here. They overhang the roof and they have to come down anyway. So first task is getting rid of these 3 little trees. Second task is running a cable between these 2 cedars. Third task is creating a basket, a lift system for the timber, and that's vertical lift from the ground to the cable. And the fourth task is then the pulley and winch system that will pull the load up to this level. Okay, bear with me. So very simply, let me show you the idea for this lift. So we have a high tree here and we have a low tree here, and we have the building, let's say, comes about right there. Okay, kind of like that. We're going to try a cable here. Actually, it should be about right there. It should be up above the house. The cable is going to come down here. Okay, it's going to be as taut as we can make it. Then to the cable, I'm going to hook a pulley right about here with a basket. And the basket is going to hold one piece of lumber at a time, or two pieces perhaps. Okay. This pulley is going to run freely along the wire, but because I'm using two wires that are going to be clamped about right here, this will be a kind of a natural stopping point for the basket and the pulley. Now, the pulley is going to be hooked to a rope that will go up to another pulley at the tree and come down and be anchored somewhere down here to another tree, I think, somewhere. And then to this tree, I'm going to attach the winch. Okay, this is the winch. So then the winch is going to be used to pull the load up the taut wire. The one thing I haven't mentioned here is how do we lift this basket of lumber off the ground? I said there's a pulley right here. I'm going to have a chain, what are they called? A chain hoist? Yeah. I'm going to hook a chain hoist to this pulley, and it's got about 5 meters of play in it. So I'm going to be able to let the hook down with the chain hoist, grab onto the basket that's sitting on the ground initially, and then lift the basket up so it's floating, and then use the winch to pull the basket up here. Once we get up to the top, the basket is going, I'm going to secure the rope so the basket doesn't move, and then I'm going to take the one piece or two pieces of lumber and I'm going to somehow tilt them and shuffle them onto the roof. Not the roof, it's not the roof yet, onto the structure that will become the roof. Okay. I hope that worked. Oh, sorry about that. You went down with the tree. To the bottom of it, this becomes the lock. Like that. Okay. Heavy, 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 heavy. There. So far so good, folks. We've got everything hooked up. We've got one 2x6 in the basket. The basket's lifted off of the ground. The pulley's in place. The cable for pulling the basket up is in place. We've got the winch down here to aid us in that endeavor, and the rope is ready. So I'm gonna plug in, turn on, and find out. Test number one. I don't know what they say in the science community, but it failed. Couple of things. I don't have any other person here helping me guide that load to keep it from catching on things. And I think that's pretty important because of all the crap that's in the way there. Second is, my winch just needs to be a bit more stable. Generally, I let it flop around, but right now it's causing more confusion. And you can see that my Prusik knot here got wrapped up in the coil, and that's a complete no-no. It should not happen, and it caused problems. So. Failure number 2 on the winch. I should have been watching it very, very carefully. I shouldn't take my eyes off it, but in this situation I have to watch the load as well. So when I was watching the load, the rope got tangled and is pretty messed up right now. Okay, I'm going to call this. It's definitely not working, but I think the proof of concept is proven, is there. It will work as long as I have somebody managing this for me so that I can manage this. Now, I guess the real important part, you know, you all can't see it, but as soon as it clears this junk right here, it gets high enough to clear everything else. So there is no stopping it once it gets past this bit. Okay, in the interest of time, we do have a time crunch here. The time being, it's Friday right now, and I absolutely want to get this video out tonight or at the very latest early tomorrow morning, so that you folks can all see the progress that we've made. So I'm going to call this, the proof of concept is there. It's going to work. I just need another hand right here on this thing, and I need to be a little bit more vigilant on the winch. But we're going to be able to get lumber up to roof level. So we've covered a lot in this video. All of the mortises and all of the tenons and all of the final requirements to get all of the ceiling and roof structure ready is completed. You've heard about the hellish March that we've had. The Ides of March have just been pummeling us. And you've seen now our delivery system for getting this heavy lumber up to working level at the top of the house. So thanks for hanging around. Definitely tune in next week to see all of this go up there and hopefully get the roof built. It's been lovely. See you soon. Thanks for hanging around.